Thank you, President. And my adjournment matter is for the Treasurer. And the action I'm seeking may not be popular. I'm asking that he forgoes some land tax. As chair of the homelessness inquiry, I was really privileged to hear so many community organisations talk about initiatives to solving homelessness. As we know, even with the big build and with everything we see, it's only a drop in the ocean to what we need. We're going to take decades to meet that need. So one of the initiatives that we heard from, and I'm sure many of you in this chamber have heard from, was Housing All Australians. And this is by a man called Robert Pradelin, and he has been working with developers who have empty buildings that are going through significant planning processes, so they're going to remain empty for many years. And he then talks to the owners of those buildings and gets them to hand it over, while he then retrofits those buildings for transitional housing for people experiencing homelessness. He then gets groups like the YWCA or the Salvos in to provide the wraparound services that those people need. It's extremely successful. We've seen a beautiful development in South Melbourne doing this, and I recently went to a new development in Garden House called Garden House. Now, we've got a great developer called the Pass Group who has a building in East Melbourne, and they're willing to do the same. And when they do this, we have tradies, we have students, we have retail outlets, we have hotels, all donating everything we need to make these places just beautiful. And I saw Garden House, and I can only imagine how a woman who had escaped violence, had been living in a violent situation, had been forced into homelessness, to open the door to this beautiful room that was just for her, that was safe and had all the services. So the action that I'm seeking from the Treasurer is to look at how he may be able to forego the land tax on buildings that are leased to charities for a peppercorn rent to provide transitional accommodation for community purposes. Now, this land tax, a holiday, would only be while that building was being used for transitional housing. But I think this will give some of those developers the nudge they need to use those buildings for transitional housing while they go through the process of many years that it will take them to develop that land.